We return, and the music is mysteriously quiet. Once in the hallway, she suddenly puts her forehead against the wall. I spoke without thinking. How could I say something like that? Yuri, something about the way she said that. It made me feel so irritated. What's wrong with me? No, Yuri. I think you did the right thing. I wasn't expecting it, but it's also not right for Monica to judge people like that. Also, I'm going to see if I can get the music working. One sec. Well, weird. The music seems to be working just fine, but it's not actually playing. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we go. How come even when I do something bad, you're being nice to me? Because nothing you do is as bad as you make it seem in your head. Nobody's perfect. We have emotions, and we can't always hide them. But you always amplify things in your head. Your mind turns a light rain shower into a hurricane. No. Wouldn't you hate me for something as terrible as that? Why would I hate you? I can't hate someone for having emotions. What kind of a friend would do that? Friend, you say? Yuri lifts her head. I really like being friends with you. Thanks, Yuri. I like being friends with you too. I feel kind of awkward saying something like that, but I'm doing my best to help Yuri feel better. Anyway, yeah, shall we go? Yep. Yuri and I walk to the nearest water fountain. Once we fill up the water pitcher, we return to the classroom. Do you like oolong tea? Yeah. Anything is fine. Very well. I actually do like oolong tea. Quite a bit. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees. Fahrenheit or Celsius. Now time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? Of course. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything. Oh, even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything? Hoo-hoo. In that case, you'll only be more impressed. Perhaps I will. Yuri fetches the teapot and begins measuring the tea leaves. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now. Is that so? I was letting it show, and you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, and I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. It turns out it's not very hard for me to do, when it's you who's around anyway. That's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me. It's very endearing. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I watch Yuri pour a cup of tea for each of us. I have another request. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Why's that? It's a little bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than bending at my desk. Sorry, I didn't realize. No worries. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so? I wonder why that is. It's most likely because your posture, right? Always hunched over like that while reading? Yes! I have terrible reading posture. So that's why we should sit on the floor. Fair enough. I'll go ahead and get the book. I retrieved the book from my bag. I have some chocolate as well. It's a bag of small chocolate candies that I've kept hidden from Sayori's candy radar. I take it, since it'll go well with the tea. You're not an expert on tea. How are you going to pair chocolate and tea? Yuri and I sit against the wall, teacups at our sides. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, each holding one half of the book. Except this time, our bodies are even closer together. I can't see too well. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus on reading like this? Yuri was always kinda cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Your teacup. Yuri hands hands me my teacup. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it harder to focus. Because now I need to make sure... now I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. Bullshit! She wears her intense reading expression, and I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. After a few minutes, I finally manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want. Oh, that's okay, I won't take any. Are you sure? Well, if I touch it, then I might get smudges on the pages. You're right. I didn't even think about that. My bad. No need to apologize. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure? Of course. Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so that I don't have any harder of a time reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. This is good art direction right here. Well, in that case, Yuri is already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy and pop it in my mouth. Then, I take another chocolate, and I hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if the situation is completely natural. But that means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth. Oh, it appeared in the... Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. Sorry. I guess I shouldn't have done that. Well, you were just helping. That's something friends do, right? I mean, not really in this kind of context, but yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, then... Hello. You don't need to stop or anything. I see. The situation has gotten really tense. Yuri tries to return to the book, but I can tell by her expression that even she can't focus now. My heart is pounding. I nervously take another chocolate between my fingers. But this time, Yuri's eyes meet mine. You're still in the club room, my guy. The others are probably caught wind of what's going on here. How did it even come to this? Yuri doesn't avert her gaze. I notice that her chest is rising and falling to the rhythm of her breaths. Breaths! Her breaths! I raise my arm. Like before, Yuri parts her lips. But it's different this time. I take the chocolate and place it in her mouth. I feel her heart... I need to take a sip. I got so jebaited by that. I can feel her hot breath on my fingers. There it is. Okay, everyone. Yuri jolts back. It's time to share poems. You can help Yuri put away the tea stuff, right? Yeah, of course. Okay, thanks. The spell is abruptly broken. I'll take care of the cups. Yuri picks up the teacups from the floor. I pick up the bag of chocolates. In the end, we hastily clean up without so much as a word between us. I get the feeling this is something neither of us will have the courage to bring up. Well, we wrote the poem. Your writing has only improved in these last few days. Every poem you've shown me has been nothing short of spectacular. I can really feel the emotions. I'm a little bit envious, even. I don't think it ever came out of me this naturally. Yuri, that's the wrong way to put it. This never did come naturally to me. But I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after. Is that so? Yuri gently smiles to herself. This feeling. I'm so glad I got the chance to share my writing. I never thought it would feel like this. I remember you mentioning that yesterday. I can't believe that you're so good at something and you've never even shared it with anyone. It's kind of a shame. Maybe, but it's not like I really had a choice. What do you mean? Well, Yuri smiles sadly. During lunchtime, I eat by myself. Did you know that? It's a great time to find a quiet spot and do some reading. In fact, I always have some books with me. You could say that I really enjoy reading. Well, that's one way to put it anyway. But books are so full of amazing and inspiring people. People you want to fall in love with, or people you just know would make a really good friend. Cheerful people who always put a smile on your face, or deep thinkers or problem solvers who discover the mysteries of life. So when you look at it that way, I'm surrounded by friends every day. You know? And those friends don't laugh at me. They don't tease me for spacing out all the time. They don't make fun of my body type. And they don't hate me for acting like a know-it-all. People say that about you? I'm not a know-it-all. It's the opposite. I don't know anything. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to make people see me as normal. I don't even know how to make myself happy. I have all these feelings, and all I can do with them is read and write. But it wasn't until now that I started sharing it with you that I really understood what was missing all this time. But I really haven't done anything. No, that's wrong. Just being patient and respectful, that's really important to me. I know I'm a difficult person. I speak too slowly. I second guess myself all the time. I read too deeply into things. But every time, you've always treated me just like anyone else. It's so rare that I feel comfortable with myself when I talk to others. But that's why every time I talk to you, I just feel really happy. I see. Well, I treat you how you deserve to be treated, Yuri. And if other people don't see it that way, then screw them. I mean, I joined this club hoping I would make friends. And I would say I've had at least one success. Wouldn't you? If you put it that way, yeah, we really are now friends now, aren't we? Yuri puts her head in her hands, but this time she's smiling as she does it. Do you want to show me your poem? Yeah, I do. Let me get it for you. Okay. Every time the poems come up, I have to take a big swig of coffee here. Beach. A marvel millions of years in the making. Where the womb of Earth chaotically meets the surface. Under a clear blue sky, an expanse of bliss. But beneath gray rolling clouds, an endless enigma. The easiest world to get lost in is one where everything can be found. There we go. One can only build a sandcastle where the sand is wet. But where the sand is wet, the tide comes. Will it gently lick at your foundations until you give in? Or will a sudden wave send you crashing down in the blink of an eye? Either way, the outcome is the same. Yet we still build sandcastles. I stand where the foam wraps around my ankles, where my toes squish into the sand. The salty air is therapeutic. The breeze is gentle yet powerful. I sink my toes into the ultimate boundary line, tempted by the foamy tendrils. Turn back, and I abandon my peace to erode at the shore. Drift forward, and I return to Earth forevermore. I was never a fan of poetry, to be honest. I really like doing literary analysis, but when it comes to poetry, it always starts to get too abstract. I'm more a man of science than science and philosophy and literature, not metaphorical. I'm aware that the beach is kind of an inane thing to write about, but I did my best to take a metaphorical approach to it. You say that like you didn't even want to write about it. Oh, you haven't heard? After yesterday, Natsuki and I, well, it was amusing that we wrote about something similar in such different ways. So Natsuki wanted to write about the same topic as each other again. I suppose to better compare the differences in our writing style or thought processes. Anyway, it was her idea. Knowing her, it's no surprise that she'd want to do something like that. She probably just wants to show off. It's not like I have a particular interest in her writing style. I just went with her request. But, well, I suppose it's not too bad to write about something simple on the occasion. It can be refreshing, you know? It's good for me to calm my thoughts every once in a while. Yeah, I think I agree. Thanks for sharing. Need to do. There we go. Sayori is always number 2 in our hearts, so let's go with that. It's nice, I guess. Come on, I can already tell you don't like it. Well, you don't need to worry about what I think. Oh no. After all, you wrote this for somebody else, didn't you? Oh no! Probably Yuri. Oh no! I didn't write this for anyone specifically. Maybe. That's not really what I meant, though. But it's okay. You're making new friends, just like I was hoping. That makes me really happy. And you're happy too, right? In this club? Well, of course I am. Good. That's all that matters to me. Thank you. Sayori, is there something wrong? No, nothing. I'm just a little tired today. Alright. Just tell me if you need anything. I will. Don't worry about me though, okay? You can go play with everyone else now. If you insist. I'm gonna go home a little bit early today. Sayori, tell Monica I wasn't feeling well, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. Before I can say anything else, Sayori cheerfully walks out of the classroom, humming to herself. Oh no, I didn't even get to see her poem. Oh no! Well, let's go Monica next, I guess. Hi! Have you thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival? Well, being in this club is one thing, but performing in front... Read what's on the words. Read the sentence. But performing in front of a bunch of people? I'll have to give it some more thought. Okay, no pressure. But whatever you do, I'm sure it'll turn out great. It would also make me happy to see. Anyway, let's take a look at today's poem. Sure. I let Monica take the poem I'm holding in my hands. This one's good. It feels like you're not only getting more comfortable with your writing style, but the imagery is better than the last one I read. Just wondering, but have you been finding inspiration in Yuri's writing style? I guess so. You can't deny that she's talented. Yeah, totally. I think her poems are the most romantic. That's the best way to describe it. She's like a totally different person when she picks up a pen. I noticed that too. Or when she's talking about literature, it's like a light turns on inside of her. Sadly, it's hard to get much personal conversation out of her. Trust me, I've tried. Who knows what goes on inside that head of hers. I hope you don't mean that in a bad way. No, of course not. I just meant that I wish she didn't keep to herself so much. But still, defending her like that, you must be pretty into her. You completely misunderstood. Calm down, I'm just kidding. Besides, I'm pretty sure she's already got a boyfriend. Oh no! Wait, really? Yeah, a fictional one anyway. Oh, you son of a bitch, Monica. Monica kind of whispers that last part to me. It's just a hunch, but well, there's not anything wrong with that. Well, I know. I was just saying. Anyway, I'll share my poem with you now, alright? Alright. Alright, let's see. The Lady Who Knows Everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders earth. The lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. And here I am. A feather. I like that. It almost kind of looks like a feather. Lost adrift the sky, victim of the currents of the wind. Day after day, I search. I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist. But when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains, the last dim star glittering in the twilit sky. Until one day, the wind ceases to blow. I fall, and I fall, and fall, and fall even more. Gentle as a feather, a dry quill, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger, the hand of a beautiful lady. I look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything knows what I am thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend. Your legend does not exist. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. You know, I feel like learning and looking for answers are the sorts of things that give life meaning. Not to get too philosophical or anything, but it was kind of on my mind, so that's what I wrote about. I see. I never really put much thought into it. In a way, it's almost paradoxical. Because if we had all the answers, wouldn't the world start to lose its meaning? You know, there's one thing I've noticed. It seems like everyone in the club prefers writing about things that are more sad than happy. Are you surprised? I mean, if everything was okay, we wouldn't really have anything to write about, would we? Humans aren't two-dimensional creatures. I think you'd know better than anyone. You mean one-dimensional? Yeah, that. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, then sharing becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things that you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way and will make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Start the Soliloquy literature club. The Lily. I mean, the Soliloquy literature club has a ring to it, obviously. Alright, beach girl, what's up? Meh. I guess you really haven't learned anything after all. Honestly, I don't know why I got my hopes up in the first place. What? I didn't think this one was that bad. What did I do wrong? Poems don't need to be all deep-sounding to express something. It's going to just sound like you're forcing it unless you really don't suck at it. Honestly, don't bother trying to write poems like this until you're on Yuri's level. Natsuki stopped short all of a sudden. Don't tell me. You're not trying to impress Yuri, are you? What are you talking about? Keep your voice down. You know, Yuri would love this kind of angsty... Just because she's a talented writer doesn't mean, she looks like I'm in trouble. I somehow struck a nerve, though what I did is beyond me. You called her a good writer. I am so done with you. Natsuki shoves the poem I handed her back over to me. Take your stupid poem. If you wrote it for someone else, don't show it to me. Ouch. This is what I get for letting a younger girl step into my business. Unless I was a mind reader, I was destined to be in a world of pain from the start. At least Natsuki wasn't really the girl I was trying to impress in the first place. Okay, you three. Oh, I only got 2 poems that time. Okay, you three. We're all done sharing poems, right? Why don't we start figuring out... Hold on a sec. Is it just me, or did you say something strange just now? Something did sound a bit unusual. That's right. You deviated from your usual catchphrase when addressing the club. Catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase. Why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Stagnating air is common foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. In your books, maybe. Look, the only thing different is that Sayori isn't here. It seems you're right. Sayori always helps lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't she? It's almost like everyone's balance is thrown off a little when she's not around. Where the heck did she run off to, anyway? I thought she just went to pee. Natsuki, please show some decency. Oh, come on. Actually, she wasn't feeling too well and went home early. Is that so? I hope she's alright. Seriously? Of all the times to not go home with her, you pick the time she's not feeling well? So much for you two being all lovey-dovey. No. First of all, stop misunderstanding my friendship with Sayori. And second, she's kind of been avoiding me, so I don't want to force it. Oh? That curious expression coming from Yuri of all people? I think that was an internal monologue that was in quotes. Calm down, guys. I talked to her earlier and everything is fine. What did she say? Anyway, we need to oh no! Sidestepped! We need to figure out the rest of the festival preparations, so... Let's decide what everyone will be doing this weekend. I already know what I'm doing. That's right. Natsuki will be making cupcakes. But we might need a lot of them, in different flavors. Can you handle all of that by yourself, Natsuki? Challenge accepted. And as for myself, I'm going to be printing and assembling all of the poetry pamphlets. Sayori will be helping me design them. And as for Yuri, you can... Guys, can you help me come up with something for Yuri? I'm useless. No, that's not it at all. You're the most talented person here, you know. Now Natsuki's pouting too? Geez, even I can tell now. I guess I never gave Sayori enough credit, but I can tell things are even harder when she's not... harder on you when she's not around. That may be the case. But if I also can't be a leader on my own, then I won't grow as a person. So Yuri, you have beautiful handwriting, you know? So you should make some banners and decorations to help set the atmosphere. Atmosphere? About that. I love atmosphere. Yuri's expression suddenly changes as she stares at her desk in focus and starts nodding to herself. Your mind is already racing, I see. That's great. You'll be a wonderful help, Yuri. But anyway, that just leaves you. The one who is truly useless. Don't say that. In fact, both Natsuki and Yuri will have some pretty heavy tasks to handle. It would probably go a long way to give one of them a hand. You could always help me out as well. I would be really appreciative of that. That's... Is Monica suggesting I spend the weekend with one of my club members? How on earth are they going to respond to a suggestion like that? I suppose I wouldn't mind a bit of help. Well, even if you don't know how to bake, there's always some dirty work I could give to you. It's not like Monica's going to give me a choice, and you shouldn't be sitting on your butt anyway. Natsuki tries to mumble a bunch of excuses like that. If I recall, Natsuki, you mentioned that you would like to handle... Oh no, don't! You mentioned that you would like to handle the baking on your own. Lily may not like to be around if you only make him out to be a nuisance. So therefore, he may be more suited with assisting with the decorations. Hold on, I never said that. How hard could it be to make a few decorations anyway? Sounds more like you're just making excuses for... What are you saying? It will be extremely meticulous work. And baking isn't? Just what do you think? Guys, let's settle down for a moment. In the end, I think it's up to Lily to decide how he'd like to contribute. Besides, he hasn't really gotten a chance to spend any time with me yet, you know? I'm sure he's interested in... You literally just said... I'm surprised as well. Sorry. I was just saying, though. Can we just settle this already? Yeah. You're okay with this, right? In the end, it's up to you. Of course. Very well. In that case, everyone looked straight at me. Save. I think we know who we're going with, but that will be a decision for next time. Later.